Hello, this is Jeff from LightBurn Leathercraft. Today we are going to do a tutorial that's mostly geared towards beginners. A simple project making a few leather hair barrettes. I think they came out pretty nice. If you're not a beginner and you just happen to like how these barrettes turned out, you're of course welcome to watch too. I'll be sharing how I went about completing them from start to finish. The only thing I prepared for this video was the actual templates. The rest was improvised. I just went for it to see how they'd turn out. And yes, I'm also including free templates. These are the shapes I created for the barrettes. The link should be in the description section. Alright, let's get started. For this video, I will be using the Creality Falcon A1. It's a 10-watt diode laser built into its own enclosure, and it has a built-in camera, which makes it really easy to align your artwork right on the canvas inside LightBurn. Alright, let's get started. Alright, here are the templates that come with the package that comes with this video. I have 4 shapes, 3 of them we focused on in the video. And if you notice, there's 2 layers. The blue layer is a fill layer, and what that actually is just decoration. I created a border. You can get rid of it easily. Just shut it off or not. That's up to you. And the layer that's red is a line layer, and that's actually your cut layer. So that's the layer for cutting everything out, and that's how I basically set it up. Alright, let's go ahead and start with this oval template first. If you notice that I have it in red, and that's going to be my cut layer. So it's going to cut around that oval. And those holes are for the stick that holds the hair barrette in. So it's going to cut those as well. So let's go ahead and take a quick dive into Google and just find some vector clip art. Alright, we're here in Google. I already did a search for something. I just put design vector graphics. And let's just grab this simple graphic right here. This peacock. I'm going to right click on it and hit copy image. I'm going to go back to LightBurn and I'm going to hit Control V to paste it. I prefer right now just to go ahead and engrave vector images. So we're going to trace it. So I'm going to hit Alt T, which will bring up the tracing tool. There it is. I'm going to make sure that I delete the image after trace. Everything looks pretty good as it is. There's a lot of nuances you could adjust here, but it's already looking good. I found on most things that are black and white, the default setting works for me. So I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. And there's the image, but it's black right now, and my black layer is set to line. So I don't want this to be a line image. I want it to be a fill image. So I'm going to go ahead and switch that over to my fill layer, clicking on the actual fill layer, which is number 6. So I went ahead and matched it. So that's what it's looking like now. So I'm going to go ahead and bring that into our template. I'm going to size it appropriately. Let's go with that for right now. Now that it's highlighted, I also want to center it. So I'm going to also hold down Shift and grab onto the external cut layer. And then I'm going to come up here and go ahead and hit Align Selected Object along vertical center. And you can go ahead and do the same thing for horizontal. And there it goes. Now it's centered. It's centered, but it looks kind of empty. So let's see what we can do to play with this. You could, of course, stretch it if you want, which we're going to do to fill up some more space. I'm just going to stretch it horizontally. There's still a lot of empty space. And what I feel like doing is actually creating a border on this one. So I'm going to go ahead and grab our cut layer. And I'm going to duplicate it by hitting Control D. And then I'm going to drag away with it. So there's a boundary that we have that we could use. I'm going to also ungroup it because I want to get rid of these circles that represent the hole for the sticks. And now we just have our boundary. I'm going to change it from a cut layer to, I'm going to change it to black, which is just a regular line layer right now. because when we bring this back into our artwork, I don't want it to cut twice. And we're going to end up shutting this off. So what I'm going to do now is create some sort of border. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the star tool. Let's go ahead and create a star. Let's do it upside down. No. Decisions. Yeah, let's go ahead and leave it like that. So there we go. We now have a star. But I don't want to use this entire star. I'm going to go ahead and create a square to overlap it. Let's go leave it at that for now. I'm going to go ahead and select both of them and make them into fill layers. Okay, there we go. Let's zoom in on that. Now I'm going to take this rectangle. I'm going to bring it down till it's as parallel. Now I'm going to use the arrow keys to adjust it finely. Let's go right there. All right. Now I'm going to use the tool over here called the Boolean tool. At least that's how I read it. So I'm going to make sure both objects are highlighted. I'm going to go to Boolean tool and I'm going to pick Boolean assist. So now you could try every form of Boolean that you want without committing to it until you hit OK. And what this does is it takes two graphic vector shapes and kind of weaves them together and welds them together depending on which one you pick. For example, here's one called Union AB. Now, if you notice, when I just hover my mouse over it, it shows you what it's going to give you. That's not what we're looking for. That's a union between A and B. Here's your intersection between A and B. It's not what I'm looking for. Here's a subtract between A and B. Also not what I'm looking for. I'm just showing you what you're capable of doing. And here's your subtract B and A. And that's what we're looking for. So I'm going to go ahead and click on it. I'm going to hit OK. All right, so now that's the shape we have. Now I want to go ahead and take this shape. Let me zoom in so you guys can see what we're doing. And I'm going to align it center with this black outline. There we go. And now I'm going to bring it up until it locks in. You want it to snap in there. So now it's snapped. Now you see some of it is over the line, but that's okay because the red cut layer is going to take all that off. Now let's take a look at the size of it. Let's go ahead and make it a little smaller. There we go. And let's go ahead and snap it again. There. Now we want to make sure that both of these objects are selected, and go ahead and go to Tools and recognize that you should have went to Arrange, and now we're in the Arrange, and we want to go to Copy Along Path. So here's the Copy Along Path window. And what I want it to do is rotate the copies as it copies along. Now if you see right here, the number is 4, and that's what it's showing, 4 even ones. But I want to have this go all the way around. So I'm going to keep clicking number of copies, and it'll keep generating it as it goes around until you're happy with where it's at. I'm going to go ahead and have them actually meet each other a little further so they're all touching. Okay, there. That's where I'm going to end up, right there. I'm going to hit OK. Let me back up. There we go. Now I'm going to go ahead and group this layer. And now we wanted to go ahead and overlay what we've already done. So I have this already selected, the new frame, and I'm going to go ahead and select the other object as well. There we go. And now I'm going to go ahead and use the centering tools on the top. And there we go. Now it's centered. Let me go ahead and zoom in. That looks nice, except I want to make our artwork smaller now. So I'm going to hold down Control so it makes it smaller on all sides. And I'm going to lift it up just a little. It's probably unnecessary because it looks pretty good. Okay, so there's the design as we see it now. I like it. It's pretty interesting. Let's give a preview of it by hitting the preview button. So that's what we're looking at. That's what our final barrette is going to look like. Quite simple. You see how quickly we put that together? All right, there we go. That's one of them. It says it's going to take 12 minutes and 58 seconds to engrave. I'm going to go ahead and shut off this black layer so it doesn't engrave that. So now the black layer doesn't exist. All right, this one is ready to go. This one is able to be engraved now. Whenever I use a 10-watt laser, I pretty much use these same specs, which is 300 millimeters a minute and 90% power. As far as engraving is going, we're going to go ahead and do 7,000 millimeters a minute and 30% power. And lines per inch is 317. Now, the beautiful thing about having a laser that has camera control, let's go ahead and go to the camera control, is you could see everything that's going on inside the laser. Plus, ultimately, you have overlay. So that's the beauty of it right there. So if I go ahead and select my artwork, I know where the safety areas are. So now I know the artwork is definitely going to end up on the leather, as long as my camera is calibrated correctly. So let's go ahead and make a final check. That looks good. Cut layer. We're going to be cutting. See, this is very important. I got to put the cut layer after the engraving. So now we have it's going to engrave first and then it's going to cut. So it looks like everything is correct. You know, I always triple check this stuff because you'll end up wasting material. So first it's going to engrave like that and then it's going to cut it out. And here we go. Let's go real simple with this one. We're just going to use yellow dye. And then we'll take it from there. All this is basically just improvising and having fun. And that's what it's all about. Just have fun with all this stuff. There's yellow, and wipe some of the yellow off, not a lot of it. And here we go. We're just going to dive in. And we'll go ahead and use antiquing with this one too. When you use a towel and you take off some of the dye, what's cool is the texture of the leather reveals itself. So that's why you're seeing basically the behavior of the leather. Let's get this area. Now it's just up to your imagination. We could go around the outside a little bit, create a somewhat of a gradient. Let's go ahead. Why not? Why not? Let's do a gradient with saddle tan. So I'm going to go ahead and add some. Wipe it off. All right, let's go in. See what happens. There we go. It's kind of cool. Just get these little fork areas. As soon as you add two tones, it so much brings it to life. Look how much cooler that looks just by that simple technique. I'm going to go a little deeper actually, because I like how it kind of pulled in right there. So I'm going to go around. Bring it down a little bit. I'm going to try to do this without having to put more dye on it. There we go. See? 2 seconds. It added so much more of a look to this thing. And all these star-like shapes will have antiquing in it, so that'll take a real dark appearance on, which will create more of a contrast. Alright, I already grabbed an image from Google and we're going to go with the Celtic theme. Let's go ahead and trace the image. Hit Alt-T to bring up the tracing program. Make it bigger so you can see it. Everything looks traced really nice. Go ahead and hit OK. Alright, here it is. I'm going to shrink it down by hitting the control button and using the mouse in the corner and shrink it down symmetrically. We want it to fit in here as nice as possible. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure that's highlighted and selected, and also the border. And now that they're both selected, I'm going to go ahead and use the tools that allow me to align it. Align horizontally and align vertically. Okay, now it's in the center. But it looks a little empty on the sides, so let's think of an idea that we could use for the sides. Maybe some more Celtic designs. Go ahead and copy image. Go back to LightBurn and let's go ahead and hit Control V to paste image. Oh, that's a nice and big one. So let's go ahead and hit Alt T again. There it is, looking nice. Once again, we're just using this for educational purposes. If you're going to actually use any of this clip art, go ahead and buy it from the people that are offering it to you. Okay, that looks nice there. Let's create 2 of them. I'm going to hit Control D to duplicate. I'm going to hold Shift down, so now when I drag it, it's going to drag on the same plane. So this is ready to go. You know, it's up to you. Just create something you like and then go ahead and burn it and cut it out. Okay, it is dry enough, and now we're going to add our resist. Now, resist is a liquid that you put onto leather that actually enters all the pores and blocks them off, basically, keeping the leather from being able to be stained any longer. Or I should say, it's a lot harder to stain it, not impossible. And what I've been using is this Be Natural RTC Resist. To me, this works fantastic. It's the strongest of the resists that I've ever used. Now, you could use a weaker resist like Tan Coat, which what I mean by weaker resist is that it'll allow some penetration of the dye. So it'll change the shading to a certain degree, but not ridiculously. I have some of the resist in this bottle, so I'm going to go ahead and put some onto this synthetic wool. A friend of mine gave me a bunch of this stuff. It has its pluses and minuses. It's good for applying stuff like this. The problem is that it can, the fibers come off and sometimes they stick to the craft that you're creating. So just keep that in mind. You could always pull them off, but if you could limit that, that would be great. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and apply this. I'm going to apply it to the yellow first, because if I could have that, I don't want the tan to bleed into the yellow. So if I apply it to the leather yellow first, it's not going to do that. There we go. Now I'm going to reach out into the rest of it. I'm going to actually put 2 coats. You see the fibers get on there. Let me back this up. More chance of you actually seeing what I'm doing if the camera's further away. I'm going to go ahead and apply some more of it. Alright, the resist is now dry, so we're going to go ahead and add some antiquing. This is all antiquing right here. And the way I maintain this flesh color is actually by using the resist on it and then trying to avoid it with the dye. Let's go ahead and do the Buddha first. First, I prepared this is a paper towel, but I like to fold it straight and flat for 2 reasons. One is I can wipe the antiquing off without pulling it out of the grooves, or there's less of a chance that it will because the apparatus, the towel, is flat, it's wet. And I also have the opportunity of changing what side I'm using it by flipping it over. Once again, here's the antique paste I'm going to use. It is very much a paste. And if you could help by not wasting any, that would be great, because obviously it'll last longer. So I'm going to go ahead and use my finger and smear it in. I'm going to try to avoid the holes for the for the stick for the barrette, but it's not crucial because you can clean that stuff out. See, I used way more than I needed for this. I want to get these corners. Get everywhere you can, because the outside rim is gonna adhere. Ugh, so much. See if I can save some of that by putting it in a pile. All right, now the wipe off. Yeah, you could already, don't push down too hard. You could already tell it's gonna look pretty cool looking. See, now you want to flip it over, because otherwise you'll just be smearing it. So get a certain amount of it off. I pulled too much out of there, so I know I have to be a little gentler in that spot, because I don't want to pull too much off. So once again, I reapplied it, and now I'm going to try to be a little more gentler. Yeah, a little better. Sometimes it stays in the groove pretty well, and sometimes it just doesn't. I'm liking how this is looking though. See, that side it adhered a little bit more. It's taking on a rustic look, which is nice. That's what I wanted out of this thing. Alright, now we have to let it dry. But look how cool the antique paste looks. It really, creates a contrast.
You can pray all you want, but you gotta move your feet. The doing's what's needed. Don't skip a beat. Let love be your guidance, your will to survive. We gotta help each other if we're gonna thrive. I see you in my eyes, I see me in you. There's only one life, you know it's true. It shows up as many, but it's love that's real. There's nothing to hide, if only you could feel. If only you could feel. We talk about change, but it starts inside, not in the noise or the fear we hide. Lift your heart, let the moment arrive. We gotta stand together if we're gonna thrive.